think I would actually do it. I would never use Bitcoin to buy a freaking real estate property. To me, it's an advantage to swindle people. That's what I think it is. It's a setup.
Tony Giordano, luxury LA mansion broker turned real estate crypto disruptor. We met 7 years ago, right?
Yes, we did.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
What was the pitch you gave me?
Well, there was just the rise of crypto being used to purchase real estate. And back in early 2018, late 2017, they didn't know where it was going. And so people who were making millions in Bitcoin, wondering if it was always going to keep growing, wanted to park it in something more stable at the time. So they were asking, hey, how do I maybe buy real estate with my profits?
And your answer was a Malibu mansion. And it was like, you had me in Malibu.
Yep. My client was willing to take Bitcoin for the sale of his property, so we marketed it that way, and the rest is history. It just continued to grow, and then now we know where crypto has grown to.
And I remember going out there and standing in Malibu, and I forget the price point of the house, but it was multi-millions. And I'm standing there going, why do we buy it in crypto? Why not just buy it in cash? What is the benefit of buying a house in crypto? But over 7 years, it's blown up. So really simply dumb it down for everybody. Why does anybody want to buy a house in crypto?
Depending on the crypto you use. So if somebody comes to me now and says, I want to buy a house using Bitcoin, my question is why? Why on earth would you trade an asset that's going to go up 20 more times than that house will in the next 20 years? So now you have all of these new private equity firms and people, giving loans, almost like a margin loan against your stock, giving you a loan against your Bitcoin asset so you don't have to get rid of it, and now you can just go buy the house traditionally.
So that's where it's evolved. People aren't buying in Bitcoin. So I was right to think it was dumb to do it then.
Not in Bitcoin, but they're buying it in other cryptos, using crypto or the USDC and recording things on the blockchain now. So it's just, everything's just evolved with it as a form of currency.
But we're now just borrowing against the crypto.
Yep.
And that's getting us mortgages, and we have mortgage companies that...
And if we're borrowing against the crypto, this is my other thing. Depending on the situation, if I borrow against my Bitcoin, do I have to release it? See, if it's not, it's the same thing over again. The issue that we had with Bitcoin previously, buying it in these exchanges, is you parking your Bitcoin on the exchange, and these exchanges, which I had the same experience. I had this exact experience. The exchange shut down. And fortunately, I only had, I think, 25, 50 bucks in there. Now, you got to imagine, that was when Bitcoin was 45, 50,000. Bitcoin's 100,000. My $50 is $100. And whoever shut down that exchange, okay, when they shut it down and they did not give the Bitcoin back to the people, they made a 100% profit on my money. They doubled my money. That's the problem. When we start putting Bitcoin into the hands of others in exchange for cash, what happens when they go away? Like, what happens when they quit? Like some of these exchanges that shut down. What happens? We forget about what just happened with Bitcoin. So to me, it's nothing more than another ploy, another financial move to get your money. That's it. Because they know if we get enough people invested, that thing shuts down. And when it shuts down, what is the thing? It shuts down, and then we can go. We'll probably get some liability from the government. They'll probably come and smack our hand and say, hey, you can't be doing stuff like that. That's not a good move. To me, that's when you create issues. This is a deception. It's a deception. It can easily flip on you in a second. You can't trust companies with your Bitcoin. You can't. I keep my Bitcoin in cold storage. I don't even keep it on exchanges. You can't even find my seed phrase anywhere in no paper form. It's metal tucked away somewhere separate from my freaking Bitcoin. And I don't mind telling you because it ain't in my house. And if you run up in my house, you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. At the end of the day, this is the same way that the system deceives people or allows these entities to get going. And let me tell you, it's all just like the 50-year mortgage. It's all about the individual. Like I say, we should have the freedom to have a 50-year mortgage. People think I'm crazy with it because somebody may want to use it. And you can't say that. You can preach to them, you can tell them, but at the end of the day, if they want to use it, they want to use it. So you can't keep telling people they can't do stuff. That's not the essence of our country. Our country isn't based upon the us being protected by the consumer. Oh, well, they can't use it. They shouldn't because this is going to make a bunch of people go broke because we know already if it's 50 years. This thing with Bitcoin is the same. Using that to buy real estate is the same thing when it comes to a 50-year mortgage. Give people the choice. Let them choose whether they're going to do it or not. I'm going to tell you, you stupid if you do. And I'm going to tell you why you stupid. I'm going to tell you why you stupid. You stupid. You're stupid simply because if you take your Bitcoin out of cold storage and you give it to someone, you're believing that they will actually give it back to you after you've paid that debt, and you're dumb to believe that. You're dumb. You're dumb. And I got BTC. I got several altcoins. I've been stacking. And I'm glad I've been stacking.
Congratulations. Well done.
Because I lost $50 on a freaking exchange. I said, I'll never do that shit again. Never do that. Never do that. But we can't tell people and push people and say, oh, yeah, and keep doing that to people. And we want to make these rules. It is up to us to self-govern ourselves. Stop freaking listening and waiting for the government to do that shit. If anything, we should be sitting back and saying, the stuff you put in our food, no. We need to be able to have the real food, or we need to have more alternatives. And the ones that are alternatives to this, they don't need to be, they need to be incentivized to actually make good freaking water. Dasani, I'm talking about Dasani. That water shit. If you drink it, don't drink it, okay? Because the water is shit. It actually has salt in there, and it makes you bloated in inflammation. And we don't talk about that shit. That all water ain't the same. The things that we're supposed to be fighting for, we don't fight for. We fight for Bitcoin to be used for freaking buying real estate. Like, that's the smart ass move. Even if you give it to somebody, like I'm sorry, I'm ranting. I'm going off the chain. Please comment and tell me if you think what I'm saying is off. Because if I'm off the chain and maybe I'm just the dude in the back in the booth, which I've always been, talking a bunch of shit and telling people don't do this, and people just go do it any damn way. Y'all just gonna do it. 18 years in real estate. I've been in this shit 18 years. I've seen people make tons of money when shit went crazy. I know in 2020, I was closing deals, letting people buy what they want to. You think I'm gonna stop your ass? No. Buy what you want to. You've already made up your mind that it's good for you to be a freaking investor, and you never read a damn book. So I'm like, go do what you want to. Yeah, okay, I'll help you close. I'm just going to give you what I'm going to tell you some, and then you're going to push back, but you're going to do what the hell you want to do anyway. We keep having people believe that when it's good, you buy real estate. No, you buy real estate when the world is shitty and going to chaos. And you don't do stuff like this.
Specialize this. I know you've talked about those before.
And Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac coming out with the crypto-backed mortgages.
What is that going to do for the market?
Well, there's just a lot of people who have a lot of crypto assets, and it has not been traditionally used as a form of verification or asset or collateral for a mortgage. And so I think it's just going to open up the doors where people now can use it to purchase property or get a mortgage for it.
Now, you jumped on this train really early. I know it was 7 years ago, which seems like a lifetime in crypto, but you were really ahead of the curve on it. What made you say, this is the future and I'm going to go all in? Because you travel the country basically telling agents all over how this works, explaining it to them over and over again. What is the blockchain? Why do I use crypto? How do I use it? What sparked your interest?
In 2014, I was speaking at a tech conference on real estate tech and just social media and disruption of technology with real estate. And this guy came up to me thinking because I'm techie, he asked me a question about Bitcoin and blockchain. But the way he asked...
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in here. I want to clearly define between what blockchain does and what this BTC does. I would never use Bitcoin to freaking buy a property, but I would damn well use the blockchain to log in my purchases, the warranty deeds, security deeds. That shit needs to go on the blockchain because people steal people's houses. And it's happened. It's happening in Georgia. People are freaking going in and transferring houses to their name with a quitclaim deed and recording it with and when you go down there and tell them it's not like you didn't do that shit, it takes tons of years to fix it. The criminals are moving faster than the technology. This needs to be adopted so that we can maintain what people's hard-earned homes and assets that land that they have inherited or they purchased. I'm all for that. Matter of fact, I've got a friend who actually has a loan product for the last 15 years. They've been fighting him on bringing this shit out. Multi-million dollar, billion-dollar strategy. Billion. He said, hey, Lee, I think we're going to turn around and put this thing on blockchain. That's what we're going to do. How about if we do our records on blockchain and we turn around and take the ledger and we can sell it now on the open? I'm like, shit, that is great. That's freak. It's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I also asked if you do it on the Ethereum blockchain and and you're transferring these assets, and Ethereum is nothing more than another blockchain. That's it. You got the BTC, Bitcoin blockchain. You've got Ethereum. Most of these altcoins run on the Ethereum blockchain. Most of them do. And when they're traded in exchange, you're now turning around and creating from the gas, from the fees. When it's sitting there, you're creating just money. You're creating more Ethereum. So if I bought an NFT, let's say the NFT, and this is easy, my warranty deed for my property in Atlanta can be in my NFT, I can hold that in an NFT, you know? And while I hold it, I'm making money off of that NFT going up, that warranty deed going up. So now I see appreciation in the asset and appreciation in where it's stored, which is the Ethereum blockchain. Okay? Shit like that, they don't want you to know, bro. I'm going to tell you, shit like that, that's the fight. Because when you make something like that available to the masses, my grandma and them, her house, y'all inherited it. It doesn't, you'll sell it because you're like, I don't want to deal with the house. How many times I walked into those situations where people didn't want to deal with the shit, you know? And then we ended up giving them a cash offer or buying it and some shit like that. But at the end of the day, would they hold on to that? I think they know that it will cause more people to hold on to their assets because even if it's staying steady, where it's recorded at, and because it's an NFT sitting on that chain, on that particular crypto chain, Ethereum specifically, that warranty deed is going to make you a shitload of money, especially if you don't want to do nothing to the house and it's sitting somewhere. I'm for that. I'm not for buying no shit with your money, with your thing. I'm not.
I pretended like I knew what he was talking about. I was like, oh, you know, I'm sure someday somebody will be able to buy a house using crypto. And so he walked away and I went on Google and I searched what is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And this is 2014. And I was just fascinated by it. And I was fascinated about the fact of how fast the world was embracing it. And then I just started doing research. And then that's when I realized, wait, this isn't going anywhere. This is going to take over the world. So I just started learning it. Before I knew it, I was teaching it And then that's when the gentleman came up to me and said, hey, I need to park some money in real estate. Do you know anybody who'd be willing to take Bitcoin?
And there you are at the Malibu house selling it.
Yep.
Did that house ever sell in Bitcoin?
That house did not sell in Bitcoin, no. He took it off the market and actually ended up keeping it. He's still the owner.
Okay, so it explodes onto the scene, but then Bitcoin and crypto in general has had waves. You know, you saw this huge run up. People made millions and millions of dollars. Then it came down pretty hard, but you stayed in the game.
I stayed in the game because look what's happened. Every time it's gone down, it only goes down to a new bottom, and then when it goes back up, it surpasses that bottom, and then it goes down. And then so when you look at it, it's almost like real estate. Yeah, it has its crashes or it has its shifts, but then it ends up going up 10 times more than it went down. And so now you see everything, like look at all the protocol the crypto bills that have been put into law from the president recently. You have people like Mike Saylor, who says that there's no reason it won't be 10 million a coin, you know, one day.
And Mike Saylor is, for everybody?
Mike Saylor, he's just a very crypto expert in the game. Like he's just always being interviewed and just
So he's kind of a disruptor in the space as well.
He's a
big followers.
Big followers.
And I noticed that you have big followers on social media as well, and you have for a while in the crypto.
Look at her. I noticed that you have big followers in the social media space as well. Like, tell us why. Why do these guys interview these people and not know shit about it? Like, they don't know anything. They just sit down and, oh, yeah. Michael Saylors? Yeah, Mike Saylor, yeah. Who is he? You gotta ask who he is, and you're on a property CNBC midday show. That's, to me, I'm sorry, that's the epitome of stupidity. Like, you didn't prep for the interview, so you're gonna throw him education on him.
Space. What is it about social media that seems to have fueled crypto as well as, you know, keeping real estate one step ahead of the game?
I think because crypto is directly connected to technology, social is directly connected to technology, so you just have a lot of experts there in that space.
Did you know that early on,
No.
that you had to build your social space? Because you have over 1 million followers on Instagram.
And that's been from other things that I've done in the past, you know, being on a few episodes of $1 Million Listing back in the day, speaking in front of audiences and them seeing my social and then
Chick, it didn't come from him knowing crypto and real estate. He had it before.
Following me while I'm speaking. So it's taken a long time to build that. But then when crypto took off, it really did start increasing the following, because now I wasn't speaking to 2,000 real estate agents. Now I'm being brought into international conferences that have 20,000 attendees just in the crypto blockchain space. And that's when it was eye-opening. I was like, wow, this is worldwide.
So you never expected that the social would kind of go hand in hand with the crypto and take the whole real estate venture forward. And you talk in.
She talking a bunch of smack anyway. Like I said, I haven't listened to all of these. I probably listen. I think one of them I listened to, but I mean, it's clear they will feed you anything stupid that will make money for corporations, for these financial services companies. Because if you don't get it and you haven't figured it out, the goal is to get into your pockets, bro. Like, people that are suffering right now during this time of pullback in the market and high inflation and all this other shit, they're dealing with a series of bad fucking decisions that some of these people put out here. Some of them put out here, oh yeah, we want to buy Bitcoin. Oh yeah, we want to store it on this exchange. Oh yeah, we want to park it here and earn off of it. If you take your advice, and God knows, I'm gonna tell you, God knows, I bought shit paid off in real estate. I bought cars paid off. The reality of it is, if you think that the shit that they sell you from debt and all that conversation, that this is the smartest way to do things, you screwed. You're screwed because you're following the wave of the masses. It's not easy to buy stuff paid off. It's not easy to get in there and to get in there and to pay some shit off. It's not. Real estate specifically, we always get reasons why, as real estate investors and agents, why we should be using that money to do something else except for making that asset debt free. We always get it. And it's always going to come. And it's going to come because our minds have been trained that we need to hold on to cash, even though cash is the worst thing to actually hold on to. And we don't need to park the money in an asset like land that will appreciate. And when you tell people that, because the hands are so itchy and so tingly to go out and to make, to get hold of that money, which I've been there before. I'm not shitting on y'all and telling y'all that it's wrong and all that, because it's normal. You rather go buy a freaking Audi with that money and finance the house. And they've had so many people finance it. That's why I say in 2026, 2 things that you should know. 3 things. That lending, in private lending, if you become one, you will make a shitload of money. Houses, wholesaling, if you can wither the grind, you will make a shitload of money. Okay? And if you go and tap into this Patreon that I have, just go to my description, look for the Patreon. If it's not there, just like, follow, subscribe, because my sister should have put this shit out there. But if it's not there, don't worry about it. Just follow. When I drop it, I'm definitely going to let you guys know. Because in that Patreon, honestly, I'm going to talk about my 18 years in real estate. I'm going to give you every hack that I know that these won't give you. Okay? They won't give it to you, or they're going to charge you they're going to charge you thousands to actually learn it. They're going to charge you thousands to learn it. Thousands. Just to manipulate you and get every freaking dollar that they can. Because most of this information is out there. You're just a little bit uncomfortable in whether you should do it or not do it. And that's understandable. Because when you're inundated with so much information, it's normal that the human mind starts to shut down and not make a decision because it doesn't know, do I go left or right? Okay? Bad information out here. Stay away from that. Please stay far, far away from